FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
It is actually the value of the places that we work to engage faith-based organizations, is actually the value of the places that we work to have ABC, abstain, be faithful, and correct and consistent condom use as part of what you do. That's what they bring, not what we bring. Faith-based organizations are an integral part of healthcare systems in Africa, in Haiti, even some in Vietnam now where we work. We don't require faith-based organizations to be involved. We need faith-based organizations to be involved if we're going to achieve any of our goals and if we're going to actually support the national programs in which we work. 40 to 50% of healthcare in Africa is provided by faith-based organizations. 40 to 50%. The World Health Organization actually is the one that just recently reported that. We already knew that because we were on the ground working with them. In countries, national strategies actually incorporate faith-based clinics and hospitals into their national rollout strategies. The national government directly funds faith-based organizations because they need them. Because you can go to villages and communities where there's no government clinic and there are no physicians, but there's a faith-based organization doing work, getting to orphans and vulnerable children, providing health care. And so it's an integral part of the communities in which we're working for health care. The reason we engage faith-based organizations is because that's what the national programs do, and because we won't succeed, they won't succeed in their programs unless they engage them because they provide so much of the health care. They're also obviously very intimately involved in the community beyond that, and if we're going to change behaviors and get people engaged in their community and changing where they're going, the faith community is part of that, as are tribal leaders and traditional healers and others we engage. On the issue of, so I want to make that clear, we don't engage faith-based organizations because we want to, we engage them because we have to, and it's part of the national strategies in which we work. Now, in terms of abstinence, I think it's a very important issue for a variety of reasons. First of all, ABC, our abstain, be faithful, and correct and consistent condom use, was not developed in the United States. It was developed in Africa by Africans for Africans. And if you look at the national prevention strategies where they exist, there isn't a single national prevention strategy in Africa I am aware of that does not emphasize the importance of the ABC program. That is their strategy. That is their approach. So we are actually supporting their program. Now, there is a directive in this country that 33% of the prevention budget should be dedicated to abstinence and correcting being faithful, and that's a component of a full ABC strategy. I wish people would stop saying abstinence only because we don't have an abstinence only program. We have an ABC program. President Bush talks about ABC, Mrs. Bush talks about ABC, Secretary Rice talks about ABC, our policy is ABC, our guidance is ABC, everything we say is ABC. We do not have an abstinence only program. We have a comprehensive evidence-based ABC program. And part of the reason for that is because that's part of the strategy in the countries that we're supporting. But the principal reason is it's evidence-based. The data are now overwhelming from generalized epidemics. And I think we need to be clear, there's a big difference between what's happening in Africa, Haiti, and other places, and what's happening in Asia and other parts of the world that are concentrated epidemics, where most of the infection is occurring in people engaged in prostitution, which is a concentrated epidemic. And there you have a different approach. But in Africa, in a generalized epidemic, when the greatest risk is being a young person, you need a full comprehensive approach, which is ABC. And there's an spotted evidence in the world that I'm aware of, an overwhelming evidence from Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, pretty much everywhere anyone's looked, Botswana now, that you need a comprehensive ABC program. You need all three components. And you have different messages for different people. 5, 6, 7, 10-year-old kids are taught abstinence. As you get older, you're taught a more comprehensive program. If you're out of school, you get different messages than in school because we know we have a higher risk for out of school than in school youth. So 10 to 14-year-olds out of school get a different message than 10 to 14-year-olds in school. So it's a very comprehensive evidence-based program that's actually based in the cultures in which we work. So we support faith-based organizations and ABC programs because that's what the countries want.